Hi, I'm Albert and welcome to Allow Signal. This episode I'll be looking at the top 5 budget 4K gaming monitors available here in Singapore. I've been using two budget 4K monitors since November 2020 last year, and it's the results of months of research before I bought them. So let's move on to what features I consider important when choosing a budget 4K monitor. The key features of course is that the monitor must support 4K resolution with FreeSync and G-Sync. Screen sizes available for a budget 4K monitor ranges between 27 and 28 inches, not that much difference. The cheapest 4K gaming panels come in two flavors, either IPS or TN. For the budget gaming, we focus more on sRGB coverage. Since Windows 11 will be implementing Auto HDR, even for older games, HDR support is a feature to take note. For gaming, of course, we'll also be looking at things like the refresh rate and the response time, or sometimes also known as latency of the monitor. Of course, the price must be cheap So let's move on to my list. Starting at number 5 is the venerable ASUS VP28UQG. This was the OG 4K gaming monitor with 28-inch TN panel. With sRGB at 100%, it's also the most color accurate monitor out of our entire lineup. Unfortunately, it doesn't have HDR support, and the monitor supports a refresh rate of 60Hz across all resolutions. It also has the best latency of 1 millisecond. And as for the price, I spotted it on Lazada for $439. I was considering this monitor last year, but in the end, I didn't buy it. So let's move on to find out why. At number 4 is BenQ's EL2870U. This is another 28-inch TN panel, but with only 97% sRGB coverage. However, why is number 4 is because this supports HDR. And the refresh rate, of course, is still standard 60Hz across all resolutions. Latency for this panel is also excellent at 1 millisecond. However, for those of you, of course, not interested in a TN panel, let's move on to the IPS monitors on the list. Now at number 3 is LG's 27UL600. It's the first IPS panel on this list, and it's a 27-inch IPS display with sRGB at 99%, with a display HDR rating of 400. It has a standard refresh range across all the resolutions and a latency of 5 milliseconds, which is the slowest I'm willing to go when it comes to gaming. At $498, it's cheaper than some 2K gaming monitors, but still a little bit high for me. So is it worth buying or not? Let's move on to find out. At number 2 is Samsung's LU28R550. Quite a mouthful there. As for the specification, it's a 28-inch IPS panel with sRGB at 99.5 and is also capable of displaying a HDR signal. It has a standard refresh of 60Hz, but the reason why it's better than the LG panel because of the slightly faster latency at 4 milliseconds. At $528, it's only $29 more expensive for 20% reduction in latency. That's why I ranked it at number 2. So now let's review which monitor I bought last year. Dun, 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 dun. At number 1 is Anmite's 4K monitor. I'm actually using two of these monitors over the last 9 months. It is a 27-inch IPS display with 99% sRGB coverage and support for HDR. And now the real reason I bought this monitor is the refresh rate. At 4K resolution, it's stuck at the standard 60Hz but at 2K resolution and below, it's actually 144Hz. I personally tested this and noticed a big difference in games such as CSGO, and I suspect they're actually recycling 4K 144Hz reject panels from other monitors such as the Acer Predator XP271K. Likely, it couldn't pass QC for brightness or response time. It also helps to explain why this actually has a 2 millisecond response time. Believe it or not, it's the fastest 4K IPS display below $500. And you can buy it at $338 direct from the factory in China or $369 if you want to buy from a local retailer in Singapore. This is the cheapest 4K display in Singapore. In fact, it's also the cheapest 2K 144Hz monitor in Singapore, and it's definitely earned my personal recommendation. So let's move on to the conclusion. Time for the TLDR. Let's recap the 4K budget gaming monitors that I've shared today. And number 5 is ASUS VP28UQG. If you don't care about HDR and IPS and you just want the fastest gaming monitor by a reputable brand, this is the monitor for you. And number 4 is BenQ's EL2870U. If you want HDR on the TN panel, however strange that combination is, this is the one for you. Now at number 3 is LG's 27UL600. If you want a 27-inch IPS gaming panel from a big reputable brand, this is the one. Now at number 2 is Samsung's LU28R550. If you prefer 28-inch and a slightly faster response time from a big brand, you should pick this one. And now at number 1, of course, is Anmite's 4K monitor. And when I first saw the price at $338, I was like, huh? Real or not? But in the end, I still bought 2 of these 27-inch displays. It supports HDR, capable of 2K 144Hz with a response time of 2 milliseconds. And after using these monitors for 9 months, I'm honestly impressed at how well it's able to perform against other monitors more than twice its price. Now, the only upgrade from an Anmite 4K is the M28U, which is a 4K 144Hz monitor at $999, which is actually 3 times the price if you think about it. So for those of you who are ready to buy, I've provided the links below. Again, no obligations, just click on them if you want to support the channel. And then I hope to bring you more interesting comparisons in the future. Bye bye.